It is currently, as you can see, 4:39 p.m. on Saturday, April 5th, 2025. And the video evidence just as the fake sun remains idle. That which is not the natural environment, that which is not the natural environment, which is proven by an idle remaining light source, which is referred to as the sun. There's only one sun. What I'm documenting requires more than one sun, not only in Ontario, California, in Southern California, in the state of California, in the United States, which is a supernatural phenomenon that I am documenting in order to identify what is the satanic system of what is revealing also criminal surveillance throughout the United States. And this system of surveillance is identified in that environment that defies nature, meaning more than one sun in the sky space, as I document the idle light source that's remaining over me at Alvarado Gardens on this day in 2025. As my video evidence shows, I'm documenting the specific environment. The entity is keeping the fake sun, 7:10 in the morning, 9:48. As you recall, I documented just at 9:46 in the morning the other day at Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario. That's same time of year, same time of day analysis. The entity is engaged in this pattern of keeping the fake sun for the duration of the day, as I'm documenting video after video on this day in 2024 at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, California. I'm in the workplace at 1810 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6. 1810 North Alvarado Street. That's where my leasing office is closest. That is the address. And then also my apartment is on the same property at the Alvarado Gardens apartment complex. And I'm in 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6, where the fake sun would go from remaining over me all day long as I go from my office to my apartment, and then from my apartment back to my office. And then at the end of the day, from my office back to my apartment, where the fake sun is still after 5 p.m., after 6 p.m., like I documented on this day at 6:25 p.m. What is the idle remaining presence of the fake sun. So I want to give you that context. What I'm showing is, as I documented on video earlier, at 1:39 p.m., where I am capturing the fake sun in its zenith over me, and I am in Ontario, California, far from what is 1800 to 1818 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. 90026. This is 408 West G Street in Ontario, California, specifically facing apartment number 41. Apartment 45, 46, and 42, which is in relevant position while the light source is over the top of my head, and as I'm clearly standing at Tracy Banks' apartment at her front door, where the entity is maintaining this light source as I am capturing. My apologies. Let me go back because I want you to see where the entity kept the fake sun as I took the first pictures today. And I've already captured the fake sun rise 7:34 in the morning. I've captured the fake sun 7:26 in the morning. That was February 28, 2025. And then you have what is a couple weeks later, as I'm documenting, at 7:34, the fake sun is rising at the same address, just on the opposite side of the same tree, while it is, again, over here at 7:34 in the morning, okay, as I documented just the other day. Nonetheless, this is the juxtaposition of the two crime scenes. Alvarado Gardens, I can see above, at 3:52 p.m., as I'm capturing the fake sun that remains, as I've documented the sunrise, I've documented the entity keeping a fake sun. As you see, Ontario PD gang stalking under at 12:01 p.m. As you see, Ontario PD gang stalking under it at 12:13 p.m. As you see, Ontario PD gang stalking under it at 5:30 p.m. The fake sun doesn't go anywhere, and this is another day speaking to that ongoing juxtaposition. And today at 1:39 p.m., I do show the fake sun over the same apartment building. This is reflecting off of a vehicle, while at the same time on this day in 2024, I'm documenting a body of evidence where a sunrise until a sunset, there is no movement or deviation of that fake sun that's remaining over me, which is what you are comparing the specific environment to the natural environment, showing you the crime scene where the government is engaging in the inhumane and unconstitutional system that the people of the state, the civilian population itself, is aware of, intentionally engaging in and facilitating with the intent to commit murder. That's murder committed by the entity, and kidnapping committed by the entity. That is gang stalking with the intent to psychologically torture. And it is directly proven while you compare the maintenance of a specific environment as it is compared and clearly in contravention of how the natural environment looks and appears and behaves. All right. So that which is remaining over the same apartment at 1:39 p.m. Is that which is I'm documenting on video, like I did here. and this is, you already heard this video on this podcast, is I'm referencing the video at April 5th, 2025 at 1:39 p.m. where engineer light is appearing inside of the apartment in the shade, and engineer light is concentrated, and that's supposed to be the sunlight, but yet my shadow is appearing in the shade next to that sunlight that's on the inside of the apartment. I go outside, the engineer light, the fake sun is moving. This is at 1:39 p.m. The video ends at 1:55 p.m. As I am at the same exact address, I am documenting on inside of the apartment the same framing of the front door at 4:19 p.m. where this is evidence of what is the idle presence of the fake sun, which is nothing other than pointing to what is everything that is coding, which is engineer light, because this is not sunlight that's covering the outside, as engineer light does not, sunlight, not engineer light, is that which is creating my shadow above my head, my shadow that's in front of me at a distance away from me, multiple shadows, while the sun is outside of the building, not even in any position to aim sunlight that's going to appear outside of the apartment building. This is the entity that's stalking under the fake sun as I show it at 4:19 p.m. And on this day, on April 5th, this is where we're going to go into this video here. At 3:52 p.m., the LAPD is gang stalking, just like you will see in the video that I documented today. The fake sun that's both remaining at 1:39 p.m., ending at 1:55 p.m., and the fake sun is over the same building, like you can see here at 4:19 p.m. This is not different from hours later being over the same building on the opposite side of the same exact tree. This is 1:39 p.m. This is hours later outside of the same apartment at what is 4:19 p.m., which is evidence of non-movement. Yet on the same day, I am documenting same time and same day analysis with regard to prosecuting for identifying the crime scene where the government is engaged in what is an unabated program of psychological torture and criminal surveillance that it is engaging in reliance upon the corrupt population, the people of the state, the civilian population that is gang stalking in this country, and I am prosecuting it in the state of California. Now at 4:19 to 1:55 p.m., 1:39 p.m. as a matter of documentation, there is no provision where the city of Los Angeles, LAPD is doing anything other than gang stalking in the same specific environment where the sun cannot possibly be reflecting, like you will see in the videos off of windshields inside of this parking lot, where you're looking at what is non-movement at the same time in Ontario on the same day where the supernatural is present while the fake sun is still over the same exact location. And light is appearing on the inside of the apartment, which is not the product of sunlight hitting the glass door on the outside, and the maintenance of engineer light like you see here on the inside, okay? And you also know that because the same framing of engineer light is present around the same front door in the dark at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, when the fake sun is on the outside of this apartment on what is this side of this apartment on the outside. It has nothing to do with the fake sun. And this fake sun has nothing to do with the engineer light that's coding everything. Okay. So this is the POC, and this is what I want you to be mindful of as I am documenting on this day in 2025. 2024 at 3:52 p.m. where the entity is keeping the fake sun over me at Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario, like the evidence proves today. As I'm documenting images at 4:19 where the fake sun has not gone anywhere. 2 p.m. Group stalkers maintaining criminal presence in the laundry room. Crossing path, that's 1804 number 3, monitoring the bathroom. The entity that's maintaining presence and the entity is stalking by helicopter. This is how an entity acts together as one in the specific environment. Again, that is the group stalking pattern of conduct, the criminal surveillance, maintaining activity creation, stalking in the path. Walls, ceilings, and floors are no obstacle for what is group stalking, which is the entity that is not only engaging in what is demonic, satanic, ritualistic methods of surrounding someone, they're also monitoring with communication devices, and they're doing it with the state that is obsessively always stalking in helicopter in the specific environment. And it is currently, again, 3:53 p.m. I maintain ongoing documentation of where I'm at. So right here, you will see the fake sun over the parking lot where it was this morning as I reported to my office at 1810 North Alvarado Street. That's the building that I'm standing in front of here at 3:52 in this video. That is approximately 8 minutes and 42 minutes long, where I'm documenting the ongoing idle presence of that which defies nature and the operation of the natural environment, proven through what is this light source that could not possibly be the sun and operating like the sun does, in the way in which we understand the sun being a gaseous ball of fire that's not hovering and hunkering down above us, and also idle over, like I am proving, over me at one address. This is the pattern of conduct, however, because that's exactly what's happening while I am at the same time in Ontario, California, where the demon possessed are in real time monitoring this evidence. At 4:49 p.m., amplified booming inside of this apartment building, where this fake sun that you see here on the bottom at 4:19 p.m. At 3:52 p.m. on April 5th, 2024, at 4:19 p.m., the fake sun did not move or go anywhere. It remained over me, as I documented on video, well after 6 p.m., at 6:25 p.m. in fact. The next video that I capture is at 5 p.m., 10 minutes away from now. It's 4:50 p.m. in 10 minutes. The fake sun remains over me in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, where the people of the state are stalking as a population in concert with the city of Ontario, where the fake sun is over the same exact apartment building over me, over the same vehicles where it was, as I documented on video, at 1:33 in the afternoon, reflecting off of vehicles' license windshields in the same parking lot, while at the same time we're in the natural environment the sun would not be at such a substantially different location, engaging in this sort of behavior, such as remaining present over one address, at one building at one address. And you are also aware of what is the illusion while you're looking at the fake sun in the same position it is in the morning, and the illusion that it's nowhere because you don't see it reflecting off of the vehicle. That's not the sun reflecting off of the vehicle, as I show you such images of identifying what is nonetheless admissions of the presence of the fakes. And you're going to prosecute with the demonic illusions created in the environment by the demon possessed, who are gang stalking and are relying on this entire stage where the fake sun remains present all day long. And also, logic dictates and nature requires that the sun that is over the same building, as I am showing you what is this light source and what is the so-called sunlight, as you are going to prosecute based on the illusion presented by the gang stalking entity that is using planes and helicopters at 4:20 p.m., where the entity is at 3:52 p.m. until 5 p.m. the next video that I capture, and the sun is still remaining over the same address in Los Angeles. The sun is also reflecting off of vehicles in the parking lot, like this third party,
and the entity is maintaining a
where you can see the license plate. It is third-party license plate. Hold on, let me so you can see this. License 8 Nancy Uncle Sam 341 is a vehicle that is speaking to the same criminal pattern of conduct by the population that is gang stalking while they're in the parking lot under the fake sun, such as 8 VKP 279, where at 1:39 p.m. The entity is keeping the fake sun over the parking lot, and the evidence is through the reflection of the so-called sun that is still present at the same address when it is shown piercing through the window, while it is shown through the patio glass door, while it is in a substantially identical position on the opposite side of the same tree, which is planted in the ground beside adjacent the same exact apartment building that it was at 1:39 p.m., where it is the evidence of stalking in an environment that is designed to maintain surveillance, presence in an environment where the sun is not the cause of the engineered light that's touching everything, and the significance of presence in that environment is accomplishing surveillance. And this is a satanic system of monitoring that the government is operating, while LAPD is doing so in an entirely distinct location in LA County at Alvarado Gardens. And at the same time, this is what the Ontario International Airport is doing, while I am documenting in images at 4:20 p.m. where the fake sun remains here, and it is also remaining in Los Angeles, which is requiring more than one sun. Okay.
A light source over me for the duration of the day. You have the absence of coincidence while an entity is crossing path over the asphalt, which is light.
All right. So what you see here is the fake sun reflecting off of, the fake sun reflecting off of the windshield of the vehicle in the parking lot. This is where you are recognizing the pattern of conduct, and the also the illusion that's created is the same illusion by the demons who are gang stalking with regard to what the natural environment would include. And it doesn't include reflecting off of the vehicles in the parking lot and reflecting off of the apartment building of the same apartment building where the fake sun is over it at 1:39 in the afternoon. You're looking at the reflection, the same units, 33 through 48. The fake sun is directly over it, as I'm documenting, at what is 1:39 in the afternoon. As I open the front door, this is the same building. And so this fake sun at 4:20 p.m. is reflecting off of the windows on the side of the same building, which is not in the parking lot, and reflecting off of the vehicle with license 8 Nancy Uncle Sam 341 at what is, let's zoom out some, 3:52 p.m. Where the entity, this video is essentially ending at 4 p.m. and 20 minutes later, the sun is somehow positioned over Tracy Banks's apartment. That's requiring more than one sun, which is a supernatural, ongoing, and not talked about discussion. What the entity is also doing on the venue of the internet, I want to be clear. I'm going to go and let the rest of this video play because LAPD is gang stalking with the people who are engaging in this satanic targeting system together. But YouTube is engaging in the pattern of conduct by interfering with an investigation, even by injecting false information that is farcical and also ridiculous. And it is YouTube, a third-party facilitating venue on the internet. It is there as they are also, remember, they're biased because they're headquartered in California. They are gang stalkers. They're also engaged in what is gang stalking on the venue of the internet. They are also aware of the evidence that I am exposing with regard to not only what the government is doing, but what YouTube is doing and what the state of California is doing, and things that are absolutely absurd with regard to explaining the mutual presence of the sun over me at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, and at the same time over Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario. Climate control and the change in the temperature has nothing to do with the idle presence and the hovering presence of a sun that's requiring more than one sun. That's not under any circumstances being addressed with farcical doctrines such as climate control, such as the heightening temperature. This has nothing to do with having more than one sun. This has nothing to do with these things that YouTube intentionally injects into an investigation, which is equally criminal as much as is removing evidence, while YouTube is a part of the criminal pattern of conduct as well. Understand that. YouTube is nothing other than a third-party facilitating venue that you're going to use to publish the evidence against the entity that is gang stalking you through the corrupt government, where you cannot seek any redress of your grievances, where it's gang stalking you even at the courts, via the courts. Okay, so this is where you're seeing the fake sun reflecting off of vehicles in the parking lot of Los Angeles and reflecting off of vehicles where it was remaining over the same exact apartment as reflecting off of vehicles, and vehicles that are parked in front of the same building hours later at 4:20. This is the evidence of federal group stalking and monitoring, which is shown to be underway by the government, that is using planes and helicopters. This is what LAPD and the city of Ontario have in common. By the way, the Ontario International Airport is nowhere near where the entity is hovering in planes, and there is no Terminal 2 or Terminal 4 anywhere near here. The entity is clearly targeting by virtue of the fake sun and the engineered light, but also the fact that Terminal 2 and Terminal 4 is nowhere near where they are lowering in elevation. And the commercial airline planes, every single last one of them at the Ontario International Airport, are gang stalking, which I've also documented. While the fake sun is over me and I'm on Omnitrans, a third-party gang stalker, and the fake sun remains over me, over my head, on that bus, while it is driving through the Ontario International Airport, where that fake sun is remaining over me, passing through the facilitating venue of the Ontario International Airport. This is the entity that is gang stalking. So I want to resume playing, and you're understanding license 8 in US 341 is the evidence of the creation of a very specific placement of the fake sun, and there is no illusion that is actually the case where the sun is maintaining some ubiquitous presence, reflecting off of the vehicles in the parking lot at Woodside Senior Apartments, and simultaneously reflecting off of the windows and the vehicles at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles and Woodside Senior Apartments. Remember, at 5:03 p.m., the fake sun is in a position to be reflecting off of the Demon's vehicle in this same parking lot at Alvarado Gardens, at Woodside Senior Apartments, as I documented, inside of the same parking lot. Okay, at 5:03 p.m. All right, there is no forgetfulness with regard to prosecuting an entirely malicious government that is gang stalking in concert with a population in an entirely engineered environment, which is satanic at its core. You are never forgetful of all of the facts. And there is no provision for the sun to be in any position to be reflecting off of any windshield. In order to capture that, you're recognizing the supernatural, the malice of the entity that is indeed gang stalking, and is also keeping the evidence against itself under surveillance, and also injecting farcical and deceitful, that is intentionally misleading information regarding climate control that absolutely is irrelevant, and it is not even real, because this isn't even the natural environment where they claim things. They, being the entity, presents things such as climate control, which is irrelevant with regard to the engineered light, that which is not sunlight. It's not the product of the sun that's in the sky, and that could also not be the sun, where you have multiple suns necessarily over you in New York, and over you in Florida, and over you in Michigan, over you in Minnesota, over you in Nevada, while I'm showing you an idle light source. That's remaining over an apartment complex. That's not addressing the concerns and that which is supposed to be the explanation for the rising temperature. That has nothing to do with this conundrum of reconciling the fake sun documentation. And YouTube intentionally engages in that, which is an inadequate response, while YouTube has not been asked to provide any sort of response or acknowledgement about what is an investigation. They will be prosecuted for that, okay? And if you are aware of what it is, and if you're ignorant about what it is, you will reference the video documentation of the fake sun remaining over me on this day in 2024, and the video with the timestamp of 6:25 and 14 seconds, where you will see YouTube creating what is a banner while they are anticipating what is your being informed about what is a threat to your life in criminal surveillance that we're all subject to in this country. And YouTube puts what is absolutely absurd, what is a non-response, irrelevant, and it is insufficient, not even touching the subject of what is this evidence of federal group stalking and monitoring, and what is the documentation of the fake sun. Climate control has absolutely nothing and is no explanation regarding it, okay? But YouTube is injecting itself, and YouTube knows the how powerful this evidence is, and that's why they engage in those sorts of foolish means of addressing, which is not addressing. And a third party has no purpose or no legitimate interest and no legal authority to inject itself by placing any such information, which is not harming the public. I am serving the public good, especially while I remain subject to federal group stalking and monitoring, and proving the reality of the fake sun and the engineered environment is integral to that prosecution and exposing public corruption. YouTube is again threatening my life and safety, and is also serving to keep you ignorant and keep you conditioned. And it takes somebody less intelligent than a fifth grader to actually accept what YouTube placed under my video evidence that's published on the platform. All right, I'm going to continue playing the video now.
The asphalt, which is light activity creation, which is exactly what's going on right here. This is Exhibit A. This is P.O.C. 76143W2. This is both light activity and you have what is criminal presence. You've got an Amazon delivering a package. This is P.O.C. and drivers going to federal prison. This is how the entity is monitoring through the people of the state who maintain criminal presence, and the light source moves, remaining above me as I move. This is impossible.
It's federal prison because they're gang stalking with LAPD, who was crossing path under the fake sun, engaging in psychological torture and terrorism, domestic terrorism, in concert with the population. In the same way that they're gang stalking by walking into the parking lot and accessing their vehicles, crossing path, driving through that parking lot, pacing around inside of their apartments, gang stalking with the police that fly over the apartment building, flying in circles over the apartment building. They're sharing in the criminal elements and monitoring together, while at that they're monitoring the evidence against them. That's federal prison for gang stalking in concert, sharing in the elements in real time with the police department.
Impossible light activity that's on the ground. All right. Not only is the sun not going to be here, you're looking at what is impossible light. This is demonic. Parked in the fire lane. Hi. There's no parking here. There's no parking here. Are you delivering something?
I deliver. You see that box right there? Yeah, I deliver.
What company are you?
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh? Okay, HelloFresh is going to be prosecuted, and he's going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. I want you to see both shadows. And this is the entity engaging in what is criminal presence, delivering a package to a third-party group stalker at the facilitating venue while the entity is stalking in helicopter, and the entity is also pacing back and forth. This is a demon that's pacing, and this is a demon that's pacing as well. Remember, it's light activity. That's what this is. Hazards are light activity. Opening and closing the doors are light activity. This is also malice and impunity. P.O.C. HelloFresh. HelloFresh. Civil and criminal prosecution. All right. It is currently again 3:54 p.m. Ongoing documentation as to the maintenance of a light source remaining over me at an entirely different location. For example, at 3:55 p.m. I'll publish that to the drive. Then this is HelloFresh, documented as engaging in state surveillance. All right. Engaging in what is impossible light moving across the ground. This is what ties what are absolute strangers, right, on the surface. What is their demonic behavioral pattern shared by government through the people of the state. All right, this is the same laundry room where they're group stalking, where the entity's light source is visible through the windows at 8:47 in the morning and at 4:18 p.m. It's 3:55 p.m. right now. The entity is keeping the light source rising through my apartment at 7:11 in the morning, and it's still here at the same property. It is again 3:55 p.m. That is the ongoing cooperative system that the entity is engaging with the people. So walking back and forth is called crossing path. Maintenance of presence with the hazards on, that's light activity. Moving around, walking around in the engineered light is called light activity. Getting up and closing getting out to just open his car door and close the back open and close the door, all he's doing is creating light activity and audible activity. That's a demon. That's what demons do. They just need to get out and make some sort of noise, move around in the light. That's literally a demon. And this is HelloFresh that's facilitating terrorism. And they're also facilitating group stalking, which is terrorism, and criminal surveillance. And everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. The demon-possessed third-party group stalkers are crossing paths with me right here on Alvarado Street. All right. It is also, again, it's 3:56 p.m. All right, that third-party group stalker, that's apartment number 1804, number 3, and she's stalking in the path. And while the entity is creating helicopter activity crossing path, she is immediately walking outside, which is crossing path in the engineer light activity. That same apartment, her father is Hector, and they use the minor child as well. They have an underage minor son who's going to be removed from custody. The entire family is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is criminal surveillance. This is engineered light. All right, on the windowsill. There's no sunlight that's going to be here. There's no sun. None of the sunlight would be here whatsoever. This is the maintenance of a light source. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. This is over 8 hours of the light source. None of this is sunlight either. You've seen the iterations of impossible light activity. This is 8 hours of a light source over one property. None of this is the natural environment. The entity is stalking in this environment, and it's serving for what is criminal monitoring. It's criminal surveillance, and you are looking at the exact same criminal elements of monitoring, the exact same system of what is terrorism, while you have commercial actors coming to engage in that same exact environment, which is speaking to the pattern of conduct in concert with the entity that is engaging in surveillance via helicopters. That's LAPD, and doing so with minor children, which is what this family is engaging in. All right, she's over the age of majority, but her brother engages in the exact same criminal conduct, and you see the ease with which they're able to do so by merely engaging in criminal surveillance, demonic activity creation in the laundry room. All right, P.O.C. It is again 3:57 p.m. This is speaking to what is federal group stalking and monitoring. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens, for engaging in this criminal system of surveillance of an American citizen and violation of one's constitutional and human rights, everyone is going to federal prison that lives at this crime scene. It's a facilitating venue. This is documentation for which speaker companies and Todd Speaker is going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted. This is documentation of also what is workplace harassment, terrorism, and sexual violence. While I'm systematically molested by impossible light activity that you see reaching underneath a doorway, first of all, that's not even sunlight, even if you were capturing the pattern of conduct within a natural environment. But this is an unnatural environment, and that's what my documentation of the light source in an entirely different location for the duration of the day also is what my documentation captures. But this is going out of your way to molest, to touch the person, to violate the person, to harass the person while you're placing them under surveillance, while they're also monitoring with communication devices in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. Just like West Coast is engaging in monitoring on my phone in concert with LAPD, that caller that called my phone and called my office phone while engaged, not coincidentally, this is the pattern of conduct, and they're monitoring on communication devices in violation of Title 18. Also, in doing so, that particular caller, which West Coast Chief Repairs is going to produce that information, and they're going to federal prison. In the same way that HelloFresh is present, delivering a package to a third-party group stalker who lives at the crime scene, that is at 1818 apartment number 2, while you're in the exact same specific environment, engineered light, and also the maintenance of a light source that's present as a matter of documentation for over 8 hours today, April 5th, 2024, and also documented maintenance of this light source, which is not possibly the sun, in an entirely different region, in that same position, which is in its zenith over my head. You see that light source remain in that zenith position as I walk across the parking lot toward building 1818, and that third-party group stalker is engaging in that. This is an ongoing show of malice. This is the laundry room where the entity is maintaining a criminal presence, which the entity does so through those over and under the age of majority. As you've seen Precious Bastillos documented engaging, you've seen Tiffany Cherez documented engaging, and you saw today Susanna Martinez of apartment 1814, apartment number 2, both her daughter and the other minor child engaging in what is criminal monitoring, demonic activity with those that are coming onto the grounds. That is the third party that is driving 7GLX 259. He's going to federal prison also because he's engaged in criminal facilitation, coming onto the grounds, engaging in that specific phenomenon of an engineered light moving across a building while a minor opens his car door, which is accomplishing the elements of monitoring while the entity is stalking by helicopter. All right, and this is while the entity is engaging in an ongoing documented pattern. Again, right now it's 4 p.m. and so the entity is engaging in ongoing obsessive stalking in the specific environment, and everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison for it, which shall be the prosecution of the people of the state that provide this level of 24-hour criminal surveillance in concert with the government that is engaging in surveillance and federal group stalking and monitoring of an American citizen. All right, it is currently, again, 4 p.m. and this is P.O.C. Engaging in the P.O.C. right here. Again, that's apartment number 1814, number 4, 1814 for P.O.C.
Alrighty, it is currently 5:09 p.m. and on this day, the entity has the fake sun over me as I document in the next video at 5 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. As you can see, as I've already documented, the entity is gang stalking at 5:30 p.m. by the Ontario Police Department, which as you can see when you're looking at this video as opposed to listening to it, you can see that video that was captured just days ago. And this is the fake sun that's still remaining at 5 p.m. Right, not going anywhere, and it's also understanding what is negligible placement. This is the same tree, which is a landmark where the entity is keeping the fake sun. 1:33 in the afternoon, and it is 5, and it's, again, I'm at the same apartment. This is non-movement of the fake sun, and it's very obvious when you provide the body of evidence of that, and what is also having nothing to do with engineered light, okay? The entity is keeping the fake sun like I documented on this day in video at 5 p.m., 5:15 p.m. I'm in my apartment documenting at 6:25 p.m. where the entity is keeping that fake sun in perfect alignment with me inside of my unit. So I'll go ahead and show the entity stalking with impossible light as I conclude this video.
To give you an example of what is capturing terrorism, not only is this light that's appearing on the wall, this is outside of this window, this is appearing on the wall, this is absolutely impossible, and you're also looking at what is the movement of outside. The movement of the trees outside is appearing in this magnified light. This is capturing terrorism that you're subject to. The people of the state are engaged in criminal surveillance, and Amazon Prime came onto the grounds to participate directly in that terrorism. The entity is not doing so ignorantly in this level of a terrorizing environment. This is the system in operation, and this is the ongoing evidence of what is criminal surveillance. It's constructive presence in your private space. It's an ongoing method of what is maintaining the engineered light inside of your private space, and all of the other iterations of that. This is entirely demonic, and it's entirely impossible. Absolutely. The entity is maintaining magnified light right here in the center of the wall. The blinds are closed. Okay, so I just want to be clear. This is the light source that's outside of this window, okay, but you've got the light that's appearing down here, and the blinds are closed again. This is again showing what is the substance of an admission in court against the people of the state and against the state of California, engaging in what are the demonic and ritualistic methods of placing one under surveillance, and also federal stalking via communication devices and on the venue of the internet as well. These are the criminal elements of monitoring light activity and relevant positioning. This is group stalking in the private space where you may.
So I'm at the same apartment complex, and as you can see at the bottom here, the entity has the fake sun. It's currently 5:12 p.m. The fake sun is at the same exact position that I documented at a later time on March 24th, 2025 at 6:18 p.m. And this is where, again, 5 hours earlier today at 1:39 p.m. And like I documented days ago at 7:34 a.m., the fake sun is here. It's right here on this side of the same apartment building. This is the pattern of conduct of recognizing gang stalking. Gang stalking is identified, and that fake sun literally proven to be that which is not the natural environment and not possibly the sun, and having nothing to do with global warming and climate change, by the way. The entity is shown to be engaging in that criminal system, which is relevant to everything happening in that environment that is designed to maintain surveillance, presence, and activity in that environment that defies nature. All right. This is the inside of my bedroom where engineered light, if this is the sun outside of the apartment, the same apartment where I'm at right now, where this fake sun and this engineered light remains present, then there's no sunlight that's ever going to be inside of my bedroom above, like you see on April 5th, 2024, same time of year analysis. But not only that, the quality of this light, this was impossible light activity that's just appearing. The blinds are closed, and it's showing a dynamic light. The shadow of the moving trees outside, I've documented this inside of Tracy Banks' apartment here. The shadow of the moving trees outside is appearing underneath the window. This is speaking to what the entity is literally creating the illusion that the sun is outside of my bedroom window at this hour in the day, the same apartment where I document the sunrise, by the way. Through the closed blinds, sunlight is piercing through, ricocheting off of my mirror that's on the opposite side of this wall, and then appearing on this same wall. That's the very highly unintelligent, scientifically impossible, and satanic illusion where gang stalking is identified. It's impossible light activity. Okay. Not only that, I want you to see the light source.
You're maintaining engineered light, and you're maintaining presence in the apartments. Everybody that lives here is in a relevant position. The entity is pacing up and down Alvarado Street 24 hours a day. That's not traffic. Those are demons that are crossing paths while the entity maintains engineered light inside of your apartment, while the entity after 11 hours is keeping a light source.
And that is indeed the fake sun that is in alignment. Oh, this is building. I am inside of building 1806. The building that you're looking at is building 1818 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6. I'm facing Alvarado Street. And this is the entity that is engaging in this very highly unintelligent system. It is readily identifiable where surveillance is underway. And also the purpose of the fake sun is to keep all of us ignorant about the environment that we are in, which defies nature, which requires that there is somebody lied with regard to what is in the sky above us and why it is, because there was necessarily more than one sun, and the one sun that exists is not at the same time. The video that I captured March 24th, as you can see on the bottom here, is goes from 6:18 p.m. until 6:23 p.m. And the video that you see is occurring same time of year analysis with regard to anyone would study the natural environment and what's going on and what we can expect and how we've made history, for example, with rainfall or the temperatures. It's also the same thing with regard to the sun and the ecological address of the sun and who was looking at the sun. I'm in Los Angeles County at Alvarado Gardens inside of my apartment at 1806 North Alvarado, apartment number 6 on the 3rd floor facing Alvarado Street, where the sun is not maintaining ubiquitous presence in alignment to all of us everywhere at the same time. Nor am I someone that has been able to document the fact that no matter where I go, no matter what city I'm in, the sun is always capable of having this precise placement in my path in order that I'm able to capture it, including that which is evidence showing what is duration of time, which would require the sun is not moving. The sun is remaining in order for me to document that phenomenon. And it is also that which is not in perfect alignment with the same apartment, Unit 51 at Woodside in Ontario, and in alignment with my bedroom window in Los Angeles, like I'm showing through my bedroom window in Los Angeles, California. That's the pattern of conduct, however. And you also, as you scrutinize the details, the fake sun is just on this side of the tree at 1:39 p.m. Then it's on this side of the tree at 4:20 p.m. And it's essentially on the same side of the tree is real. The fake sun is still on the same side of this tree when it's negligible. With regard to negligible movement, it's just in a different position, feet away, where all I have to do is turn my neck and the camera inside of the same apartment, the same patio glass door. And that what you see here is not going to be in LA in alignment to any bedroom, Alvarado Gardens apartments, Los Angeles at all, where the documentation shows the fake sun did not move. This is the chicanery, the asininity, the demonic pattern of conduct, where you are obviously able to show and identify that. And this is where the government is gang stalking, like you see the Ontario International Airport hovering in the sky space. This is where you see the LAPD gang stalking me, like I documented in the video at 3:52 p.m. where the fake sun, that which is not the sun, remained for the duration of the day, like this evidence proves on this day on April 5th, 2024. And like I'm showing, remains the case outside of Tracy Banks's, let me show you the condition. Tracy Banks's apartment where the fake sun remains. This is not sunlight, but this is the evidence. You're going to use the illusion against the mentally ill psychopaths who are gang stalking, where they posit that the fake sun is the cause for the sunlight that you see. Not only is this not sunlight, that's not even the sun. You're breaking down that entire illusion, and it is the means whereby you are identifying demonic activity and what is the government's engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring. It is currently 5:18 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, I want you to see again for prosecutorial purposes, this is the false, farcical, and patently absurd and ridiculous and false information that a third party is unlawfully injecting into an ongoing investigation where the government is being exposed. You are blowing the whistle and misleading the public. And this is, again, the reference to climate change, which has nothing to do with the idle fake sun over an apartment building all day long. Has nothing to do with even the natural environment where that supernatural occurrence is documented with regard to no one being able to question what is a fact regarding the fake sun that is idle over one apartment, like I documented on this day on April 5th, 2024. It is also speaking to what is the unlawful injection into an ongoing investigation by a third party that is engaged in a documented pattern of unlawful injection of itself, removing evidence, and also evidence that's serving to protect the terrorist, protect the sex offender, protect the stalker, protect the psychopath. That is the government itself, and the people of the state are no private citizens under this fake sun. All right, this is state action while I'm showing it, and I wanted you to see this itself. This is United Nations. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. The fake sun documentation actually has nothing to do with the weather. You are looking at the fake sun, and you're looking at also the engineer light, which is breaking down the specific environment for understanding a crime scene where surveillance is underway, and surveillance is directly tied to the character, the unique and peculiar and suspect character of the light that is not possibly sunlight. As you see my shadow upright on the wall, that has nothing to do with weather patterns. As you see multiple shadows, as you see concentrated light across the ceiling and fanning inside of the apartment, that has nothing to do with weather patterns. That has nothing to do with the climate. This has nothing, the fake sun that remains over an apartment building all day long, over one address, over me all day long, that has nothing to do with the weather patterns. The engineer light that's present at nightfall when the fake sun is not up in the sky, it has nothing to do with weather patterns. This is false. This is intentionally misleading. It is farcical, and it is patently absurd. And this is Satan's inability to address what is unmistakable regarding the satanic environment that you and I are surrounded by. And it is also the corrupt government who uses corrupt third parties like YouTube to maintain this ongoing and unpersuasive explanation. But this is not an explanation, as you can understand, as you are hearing me literally break down, you can see with your own eyes. This is an inability to logically address and scientifically justify what is the evidence of that which is supernatural. They cannot address it. You cannot respond to it with any factual or any even logical information. Okay, and this is unlawful because it's misleading people. This is misleading, and this is an unlawful injection into an environment, trying to sway those that are being, again, given information, trying to dissuade them, trying to render illegitimate evidence, injecting yourself when nobody asked your opinion, and you do not have a right to do so because it's a platform that a third party is maintaining in the shoes of the state. And not only that, not only are they injecting themselves, YouTube, they don't even have accurate information. They don't have sufficient information that rises to the level of that which is unprecedented, a fake sun and engineered light, incapable of addressing it. It is currently 5:22 p.m. This is P.O.C.